You know, sometimes life has a way of shattering your peace when you least expect it. I used to believe my family was unbreakable, my husband, our daughter Emily, and me. We weren't perfect, but we were happy. Or at least, that's what I wanted to believe. Everything changed one quiet Sunday afternoon, the day my daughter's boyfriend showed up at our door and told me something that turned my whole world upside down. Emily had been dating this young man, Ryan, for almost a year. He was polite, well-mannered, and clearly adored her. I liked him. He reminded me of how my husband, Mark, used to be when we were young, caring, thoughtful, always looking out for me. Mark and I had been married for over 20 years. Lately, though, things had been distant. The laughter at the dinner table had faded. He started working late, coming home exhausted, sometimes smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't mine. I told myself I was imagining it. That's what wives do sometimes. We explain away the things we don't want to face. Then that Sunday came. I was in the kitchen preparing lunch when I heard a knock at the door. It was Ryan. He looked nervous, his hands trembling slightly as he held his phone. "Hi, Mrs. Carter," he said softly. "Is Emily home?" I told him she was out running errands and would be back soon. He hesitated before speaking again. "Actually, I need to talk to you. Alone." Something about his tone made my stomach twist. We sat in the living room. I could see how uneasy he was, tapping his knee, avoiding eye contact. I offered him some water, but he shook his head. "Mrs. Carter," he finally said, "I don't know how to say this, but you deserve to know the truth." My heart started to pound. He continued, "I didn't come here to hurt anyone. But something happened, and I can't keep it from you." He pulled out his phone, scrolled for a few seconds, and handed it to me. On the screen were several messages. They were from my husband, Mark. At first, I thought maybe it was a mistake. But then I saw the name, Lily. Lily wasn't just anyone. She was Emily's best friend. The texts were explicit, intimate. My husband telling her how much he missed her, how she made him feel alive again. My hands went cold. My breath caught in my throat. I could barely read the words. Ryan looked pained. "I found out because Lily left her phone unlocked at my place. I thought Emily should know, but when I saw your husband's name, I couldn't tell her. Not yet. I thought you needed to see it first." I felt like my entire world had collapsed in that moment. The man I'd built a life with, the father of my daughter, was betraying not just me, but her too, in the most unimaginable way. I thanked Ryan for his honesty, though my voice was barely a whisper. He looked guilty, almost as if he wished he hadn't said anything. That evening, Mark came home like nothing was wrong. He greeted me with a kiss on the cheek, something he hadn't done in weeks. "Dinner smells great," he said, smiling. I stared at him, holding back tears. "Does it smell like Lily's perfume too?" I asked quietly. He froze. For a second, I thought I saw fear flash in his eyes. Then he tried to play it off. "What are you talking about?" I walked to the table and placed his phone in front of him, unlocked, with the same messages Ryan had shown me. His face drained of color. "I trusted you," I said. "I gave you everything, and you betrayed not only me, but your own daughter." He stammered. It wasn't what it looked like. She was just, "Don't," I interrupted. "Don't insult me with lies." Emily came home in the middle of it. She saw us, the tension, the tears. I didn't want her to know, but it was too late. She demanded to see the phone. The look on her face when she realized who her father had been with, I'll never forget it. She screamed at him, telling him he was disgusting, that he'd ruined her trust in everyone. She ran to her room sobbing. Mark tried to follow, but I stopped him. "You've done enough damage," I said. "Get out." He left that night, and that was the last time he ever walked through our door as my husband. The days that followed were heavy. Emily barely spoke to anyone. I tried to comfort her. But how do you console your daughter when her pain mirrors your own? Ryan became a source of quiet support for both of us. Not in a romantic way, just human kindness. Sometimes it's the people you least expect who show up when you need them most. One night, Emily sat beside me and whispered, "Mom, I don't hate you or Dad. I just wish I could forget." I told her something I've learned through my own heartbreak. We don't forget, sweetheart. We heal. Slowly, painfully. But we do. Mark tried to apologize through messages and letters, but I couldn't bring myself to respond. Maybe one day I'll forgive him. Not for him, but for me. Because forgiveness isn't about letting someone back in. It's about setting yourself free. That Sunday changed my life forever. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that betrayal doesn't destroy love. It reveals the truth about it. I used to think my family was unbreakable. Now, I know that strength doesn't come from holding on, it comes from letting go. So, to anyone listening who's been betrayed, remember, the pain doesn't define you. What you do after does. And sometimes, being left speechless is the first step to finally speaking your truth.